The football world is still trying to process what unfolded this season, because what the New England Patriots just accomplished isn't only impressive, it's the kind of historic run that breaks every mold the league thought it understood. For the first time in NFL history, a franchise has gone undefeated on the road while winning at least 9 road games in a single season. That team is the 2025-2026 New England Patriots, and the significance of that accomplishment cannot be overstated. Not the legendary 1972 Miami Dolphins, not the dynastic Patriots of the Tom Brady era, not the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Dallas Cowboys, not the Pittsburgh Steelers. No team has ever pulled off this exact combination of dominance away from home. This year's version of New England stands completely alone in the record books, and the gravity of that milestone reshapes how the entire league has to view them moving forward. And of course, the pushback came instantly. Critics rushed to say the schedule was soft, or that New England benefited from breaks, or that their path wasn't as dangerous as others. Some of those critiques aren't entirely baseless, but here's the part that keeps getting glossed over. Winning in the NFL is brutally difficult on its own. Winning on the road is even tougher. And winning on the road in freezing conditions, inside one of the loudest and most intimidating stadiums in football, against the top-seeded team in the AFC during the playoffs, is something only a hardened contender can survive.
Sam Darnold, favorite to win MVP. Seattle is going to be the only team talked about for the next 6-7 days. Even though New England was number 2 in scoring, number 4 in defense, and these are the 2 best point differential teams in the league. Seattle 1, New England 2. People are talking about it like it's going to be a blowout. And I think what happened is the Patriots lost to the Steelers and the Raiders in September, and people stopped watching them play.
This Patriots team didn't fluke their way into history. They walked into hostile environments again and again, handled every punch thrown at them, and kept delivering results with a level of composure that teams twice their age often fail to match. Their road dominance wasn't luck. It was a statement carved out week after week. What the New England Patriots just pulled off in Denver is the kind of moment that shifts an entire franchise narrative. Behind their young quarterback Drake Maye, New England walked into one of the most unforgiving environments in football, the home of the Denver Broncos, and delivered a postseason win in a stadium where even elite quarterbacks have fallen apart. That victory alone could have defined their season, but instead it became just one chapter in a much bigger story, adding another layer to a run nobody expected to unfold this way. Because here's the part shaking up the entire league. Drake Maye has now accomplished something Tom Brady himself never managed to do. Brady, the most decorated quarterback in NFL history, ended his playoff career in Denver with an 0-3 record, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns in that building. 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. A place that simply rejected greatness every time he stepped onto that field. And yet Drake Maye walked in as a second-year player and left with 1 touchdown, 0 turnovers, and complete control in harsh conditions that have swallowed seasoned veterans whole. This comparison is not meant to diminish Brady. Instead, it highlights just how brutal that stadium has been historically, how unforgiving the altitude and crowd noise can be, and how rare it is for a young quarterback to step into that pressure and remain steady. Maye didn't flinch. He didn't force bad throws. He didn't let the moment speed him up. He played with a calmness that felt uncommon for a quarterback this early in his career, and that composure is now part of this team's identity. But that wasn't the only historic accomplishment. This Patriots squad just became the first team in NFL history to defeat 3 top 5 defenses in a single postseason run. Each matchup required a different style of play, different levels of patience, and different methods of survival. And New England adapted every single time. That kind of versatility doesn't happen by accident. It happens when a team is disciplined, well-coached, and mentally tougher than the moment trying to break them. 3 elite defensive units, 3 completely different philosophies, and 3 entirely different challenges. Yet every time the result remained the same. New England walked away with the win. And even though Drake Maye isn't putting up gaudy 400-yard, 4-touchdown stat lines, he's doing what championship quarterbacks across history have been defined by: controlling the game, not letting the game control him. His value isn't in inflated numbers, it's in timing, poise, consistency, and the ability to deliver under pressure when the entire season hangs in the balance. That's how teams advance in January, and that's how titles are ultimately won at the highest level. Now there is only one opponent left between the Patriots and the Lombardi Trophy. The Seattle Seahawks, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and arguably the hottest team in football. They've played with rhythm, confidence, and a level of momentum that has made them one of the most dangerous teams in the league. This is also a team that survived one of the most controversial taunting penalties of the postseason, gave up a 60-yard touchdown immediately after, and still managed to close out the game without appearing rattled for a second. For weeks, it felt like Seattle was marching toward the Super Bowl on rails. But here's where the matchup shifts dramatically. The Patriots present a very real tactical problem for Seattle, one rooted in structure and personnel. The Seahawks' offense is built around a heavy rushing identity. They ran the ball 51.3% of the time during the 2025 regular season, the third highest rate in the NFL behind Buffalo and Baltimore. That commitment to the ground game has guided them all year, except there is now a massive complication that changes the entire equation: the loss of Zach Charbonnet to a torn ACL. And this matters because stopping the run is precisely what New England's defense is engineered to do. Their interior strength, gap discipline, and ability to force opponents into predictable passing situations turn them into a brick wall against run-heavy teams. With Seattle's most physical back sidelined, the Seahawks are facing a matchup that directly attacks the core of their offensive identity, while amplifying New England's greatest defensive strength. This collision of styles is what sets the stage for one of the most intriguing Super Bowl matchups in recent memory. Relentless, physical, and systematically unforgiving. That is the identity New England carries into every snap. Offensively, this team doesn't need explosive fireworks or high-scoring theatrics to win. They don't need shootouts, desperation plays, or constant highlights. What they require, and what has carried them all year, is pure execution and controlled efficiency. And while Seattle's defense is elite, fast, and masterfully coordinated under Mike Macdonald, the Patriots have the personnel and the structure to counter it methodically across 4 quarters. Seattle lives in nickel and dime, plays zone coverage on nearly 81% of snaps, and thrives by generating pressure with a disciplined 4-man rush. But New England has specific answers built to crack that structure. Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, and Jalen McMillan are polished zone beaters and natural mismatch creators. When Seattle removes linebackers from the field, Henry and Austin Hooper become matchup problems, especially on intermediate crossers and leverage-based routes that punish soft spots in coverage. Diggs, potentially chasing his final opportunity to secure a championship, is specifically built to dismantle the seams and interior pockets of a zone-heavy system. Add layered motions, disguises, quick screens, and the occasional Drake Maye scramble, and this transforms into a calculated chess match instead of a high-tempo track meet. It becomes about patience, discipline, and forcing Seattle to adjust rather than letting them dictate. And the one element that continues to tilt this matchup: experience. Josh McDaniels carries 6 Super Bowl rings, 3 as an offensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel built his legacy winning 3 championships as a player. Veterans like Milton Williams and Carlton Davis have been tested under the lights before. Seattle brings proven champions as well: Cam Akers, Cooper Kupp, Deontay Jones. But the advantage in coaching pedigree and postseason experience leans toward New England. And at the center of everything is Drake Maye, calm, poised, and seemingly built for moments of maximum intensity. A quarterback who made one of the largest development leaps in recent years without sacrificing composure or discipline. He closed the season as a top 2 quarterback in the league and now stands 1 win away from becoming the youngest quarterback in NFL history to secure a Super Bowl title. From mechanics to decision-making, he has shown command beyond his years. The Patriots revolve around him, not through overwhelming force, but through balance, structure, and trust. They have everything they need because they understand exactly what they are. And perhaps the most impressive part of this entire run is how intentional every step has been. Nothing feels accidental or improvised. Every moment reflects preparation. Every adjustment reflects coaching alignment. From situational awareness to late-game discipline, New England consistently wins the small moments that decide playoff outcomes. They do not crumble when momentum shifts. They do not collapse under pressure. They respond quickly, decisively, and with purpose. That is culture. That is structure. That is what championship teams look like when they peak at the perfect time. And when a team reaches this level of connection, confidence, and composure, history tends to follow. As the New England Patriots prepare for the final game of the season, the atmosphere surrounding this team feels drastically different from anything seen in recent years. This is no longer a franchise defined by rebuilding narratives, post-dynasty struggles, or questions about its future. This is a team that rebuilt its identity on discipline, physicality, and structure, and has now found itself on the threshold of another championship era. The journey from back-to-back 4-win seasons to the Super Bowl has shifted the expectations for what this team represents and what its ceiling truly is. What separates this Patriots group from so many teams that make surprise championship runs is the sense of purpose that defines their approach. Each phase of football, offense, defense, special teams, has shown consistent improvement as the season progressed. Every setback produced an adjustment rather than a collapse, and every moment of pressure created an opportunity rather than a mistake. This steady climb reflects both coaching stability and roster-wide buy-in, two elements that championship organizations rely on. Defensively, New England's transformation has been one of the league's most dramatic. Opponents expected to overpower this group early in the season, but instead encountered a defense that played with controlled aggression and a level of situational awareness rarely seen from a roster this young. Whether collapsing pockets, erasing run lanes, or disguising coverages, this Patriots defense has become the backbone of the team and the reason so many opponents struggle to find consistent rhythm. Offensively, the growth has been just as significant. Drake Maye's rise from a promising young quarterback into a polished, dependable leader has fundamentally changed the team's trajectory. His ability to stay composed, navigate pressure, and deliver calculated plays has stabilized the offense in critical moments. Veterans across the roster raised their level of play in response, creating an attack that does not rely on explosiveness but instead thrives on execution and precision. Now, with only one game remaining, the Patriots stand in a place few expected them to reach so quickly. The mission is simple: finish the job. The opportunity is massive, the stage is global, and the pressure is monumental. But this season has shown repeatedly that pressure does not fracture this team, it focuses them. And as the final chapter of this extraordinary season arrives, the Patriots are positioned to convert a remarkable resurgence into a defining championship moment.